One of the highlights of any trip to Morocco is the food. We literally did not have one bad meal. So join me as we discuss some of the foods that we tried while we were in Morocco. First off, think of Morocco, you think of mint tea. It's so prevalent that they call it the Moroccan whiskey. Mint tea is the drink of choice. It's usually heavily sweetened with sugar chipped off a sugar cone. Gunpowder tea is steeped with a few spoons of spearmint stuffed into the teapot. It is poured into a tea glass from a height to create a froth called the crown. The tea is often served with cookies or maybe dates. We had this wonderful tea every day on our trip. This glass of tea was served with a sprig of mint in it they had just cut from this hillside.
Yeah. So I'm going to get this.
I want to pour the tea this way. When you take the teapot higher, you form the bubbles and you push the oxygen into the cup and you form the bubbles. We don't serve tea just like this. Nobody will take it from you. Pour it differently. It has to be higher. Yes.
Wow, that's good.
Very good.
We call it the tea with a glass of tea with scarf. This looks like scarf.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
It has no sugar,
That's fine.
but you can add it.
Okay.
And those cookies are killer.
Yes. And the cookies.
Thank you.
Marhaba.
Oh.
We have to treat her like a.
You're going to like this with your wet hair.
How was that shower?
Actually, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have
Are you?
Yeah, hot water. One of the special treats we enjoyed was fresh squeezed pomegranate juice. Here we found a stand in the Rif Mountains, and they were squeezing this pomegranate juice. Everybody loved it. But fresh juices are a staple in Morocco. You can find all kinds of fresh juice. In fact, the orange juice that we had was probably the best we've ever had in the world, from Mediterranean oranges. Nothing says Morocco like a tagine. A tagine is a clay cooking pot with a conical lid that gives its name to a myriad of dishes. They cook all kinds of things in a tagine. Usually it's vegetables with different kinds of meat. It's kind of like a portable oven, clay oven. Tagines can be seen bubbling away at every roadside cafe, from top-notch restaurants to the very basics. Here we see men preparing multiple tagines for the lunch crowd. Okay, so I apologize, I know I'm going to mispronounce these names, but the next thing I want to talk about is the Cobes Bread, or it's Moroccan bread. This crusty bread is typically baked in communal wood-fired ovens and served with all kinds of different meals, probably pretty much every meal. I took this picture of an oven in a Berber village. You can see the onions drying in the background. This picture is of a restaurant in the mountains, in the Rif Mountains. And on the left you can see the oven, and on the right is where they're cooking tagines. They don't have any cooking right now, but they are preparing for them. This is a basic setup, of course, and restaurants used a much more modern equipment, but the idea was the same. Okay, once again I apologize for my pronunciation, but the next food we had was babouche, or snail soup. Snail soup is a Moroccan dish you can find all over the country. You use a toothpick to pick out the snails from the shells, and then you slurp up the soup. Locals believe the broth is good for digestion and fever. Here we were trying it out in the Medina in Marrakesh. Tangia, like tangine, is a clay pot. These dishes are named after the cooking vessels they use. It's traditionally filled with chunks of beef or lamb and a bunch of spices. It's then slow cooked in the embers of a furnace. Katie ordered this dish. It was calf's feet. She said it was really good, but maybe just a little fatty. A little French influence with the brochettes. These tasty kebabs are rubbed in salt and spices and can be found in a lot of the markets. You can get chicken, lamb, or beef. We had these several times during our adventure. Personally, I think that breakfast was my favorite time of the day. I really enjoyed the Moroccan breakfast. I found myself counting the minutes until I knew it was going to be ready. Another French influence are the crepes. These crepes are served with fresh preserves, honey, or possibly goat cheese. Another Moroccan pastry served at breakfast time is called harsha. Harsha is a Moroccan pan-fried bread made from semolina. Although it looks a bit like an English muffin, it's more like cornbread in texture and taste. I already said a little bit about the orange juice, but we really enjoyed it at our breakfast time. The Mediterranean oranges were just delicious. You could also get a pretty standard breakfast, something like you would get at a hotel. Moroccan Berber pancakes. This delicious semolina pancake, extremely soft and soaked in a mixture of honey and butter, is a star at Moroccan tables and Moroccan breakfasts. Moroccan Basara is a delicious, satisfying pureed fava bean dip or soup. It's popular street food as well as a humble family fare. Although it's enjoyed throughout the country, it's especially popular in the north of Morocco, where it might be served as a standalone dish or as a side to fish. In our case, we had it as a side to fish. I'm talking about it as a breakfast food because I understand in the wintertime it's served for breakfast. Something like pea soup. I really enjoyed a dish called Ptia. Ptia is a very special pie. It represents the pinnacle of exquisite Fez cuisine. Layers of a paper-thin pastry coddle a blend of pigeon meat or chicken, almonds, and eggs spiced with saffron, cinnamon, and fresh coriander. The whole thing is dusted with icing sugar and cinnamon. It has both savory and sweet at the same time. Boy, was that good. Occasionally there were items on the menu that were familiar, like spaghetti, pizza, and tacos of all things. So I had to try them to see what their Moroccan flavor would be like. The spaghetti was just terrific. It had nothing to do with spaghetti bolognese that I've ever had. And then take a look at this taco. So this is not like a taco I ever had in the United States, but it was really, really good. It was deep fried and it had a wonderful filling. It wasn't too spicy. I think it was a chicken taco, and it was really delicious and different. Several times we had roasted lamb. Roasted lamb is very prevalent in Morocco, and our guide took us into the kitchen of a nice restaurant where they showed us a pit, an oven pit, where they roast the lamb. It's very interesting. Everywhere we went there were olives. We learned that olives are all grown the same color, but the different colors of olives have to do with the ripening and when they're picked and how they're processed. Tommy especially loved the olives. Olives were served at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Of course, I'm only touching on the foods that we ate. We tried all kinds of things. I only got fish once. We were on the Atlantic coast, and this was fresh and tasty. I didn't pay attention to what these garnishes were. I think the one on the right is made from eggplant. The top one is pretty sure is Moroccan salad. And the one on the left is made from carrots. So maybe somebody could help me out in the comments and tell me what these dishes are. Speaking of Moroccan salad, I had Moroccan salad at just about every meal. It's really good. It's made with onions, cilantro, parsley, tomatoes, salt and pepper, and of course olive oil. Couscous is said to be the national dish of Morocco. It's a fine wheat pasta traditionally rolled by hand. It's steamed over a stew of meat and vegetables. To serve, the meat is covered by a pyramid of couscous. The vegetables are pressed into the sides and the sauce served separately. It's often garnished with a sweet raisin preserve or in the Berber tradition with a bowl of buttermilk. In this case, this was a chicken couscous and it had caramelized onions on the topping. This was one of my favorite dishes. When we stayed in the Rift Mountains with a Berber family, we were treated with a really fine traditional meal. That is, as soon as Katie was able to shoo this curious goat out of the house.
Caliente. Agua caliente.
Everything was grown locally, including the dates which had just come out of the tree. The soup was excellent, and we were then served the main course. Of course, it was a tagine, and it was chicken. The bread was home baked there at the house, and there's the ubiquitous olives. For breakfast, we were served cornbread, Cobes bread, olives, honey, local honey, goat cheese, and yogurt. It was really good. Morocco is a country that is passionate about sweet things, both Moroccan in origin as well as French. Moroccan pastries are usually not too heavy and made with nuts, often almonds, so it's sure to be fairly healthy choices. While these pastries are usually reserved for special occasions, you can find them in all of the souks and most of the restaurants. Our time in Morocco wasn't just fun and interesting, it was also delicious. We had a great time trying all these different foods, and if I could give anyone advice, it would be to visit Morocco, try the cuisine. It's absolutely wonderful. You'll have a wonderful time, the people are nice, and guess what? That food is healthy. Well, thanks for joining me on my little food tour of Morocco. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and of course subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.